Hey guys, welcome back. This is Detroit coming to you from the bunker here in Rochelle Park, New Jersey, with another episode of the YouTube Wars. It is season number 5 and it is Russia's turn, round 5. Okay, so the Axis have been able to secure a total of 12 victory points, of which they need to hold until the end of round 8. The question is, will the Axis be able to maintain that? And of course, at this point in time, it looks like they may. The Axis are playing a very aggressive game, not only here in the European theater side of the war, but also in the Pacific, where Matherfield, who is the Imperial Japanese commander, has been able to secure China, Calcutta, and a good portion of the Money Islands in the Pacific. So Matherfield has been very aggressive. He initially surprised us all when he went with a premature attack that allowed the U.S. to enter the war. But of course, this allowed Japan to make great gains or huge gains early in the game. Matherfield was not concerned with the U.S. entering the war prematurely. He, of course, has been able to make great gains, and good for him. Good strategy. I like it very much. All right, same thing here in Europe, where the combined two-prong attack coming from the Axis powers has put the Russian Red Army in a pinch. You have a Russian army in Bryansk that is surrounded by two German armies, one in the Ukraine and the other in Bryansk. The question for the Russian army is, will the Russians fall back to Moscow, or will they hold Bryansk? That is the question that is will be answered in this episode of the YouTube Wars. All right, so what else is going on in the Middle East? The Axis were able to secure Persia, and this was only made possible because the initial attack by the Russians failed, hence turning pro-Axis Persia, or making pro-Axis Persia available for annexation. And of course, the Axis did just that. They capitalized on the initial Russian failure and are now in Persia. Okay, the UK, of course, the UK is looking very good here in Northern Africa. The UK is under the command of Hilltop Pillbox, and of course, now he's got a concentration of air forces, naval and ground units that he can project into the Mediterranean, hopefully threatening a potential landing in either southern Italy, also in Persia as well, and a potential attack in Calcutta. Of course, he can't do all three. He will be able to only make possibly, most likely, only one. Question is, where will Hilltop go? Very interesting. And of course, let's not forget our very good friend Matt Todd, who is the U.S. Supreme Commander. The U.S., of course, is poised here to move into the Mediterranean, hopefully sometime soon, because the Russians need help. And of course, the same thing here in the Pacific, where you have the U.S. also moving into the Pacific. And of course, I must mention that the Japanese, during the last round, did attack Midway, and it went very wrong for the Japanese. The entire Japanese Air Force and attacking naval assets were sunk or destroyed, and huge loss for the Japanese. Fortunately for the Japanese, they did have a victory in Kansu. It was an expensive victory where they lost 2 air wings or 2 fighters, but the end result was worth it, I think, because they were able to secure the Chinese victory objective point. Okay, so all right, so let's go ahead then with the purchases that the Russians will be making this round. The Russians will be spending a total of 43 IPCs. They'll be buying 11 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 marker here for designating 1 movement for its industrial complex, for a grand total of 43 IPCs. That's a total of 43. I know that during the last round, I had mentioned that Russia will be collecting a total of 40 or 39 IPCs. However, this was incorrect. Russia's actually collecting 43 IPCs. And this is made possible because I had failed to realize that the convoy disruption, according to the BBR, takes place in 126. Thus, the tank that Russia had acquired in Archangel never took place. However, the Lend-Lease, okay, did mean, though, that Russia will get an additional 3 IPCs, and that is the reason why Russia is now collecting 43 IPCs and not 40 or 39 that I had initially said during the last round. All right, so let's go ahead with our combat movements. Russia will be attacking at 2 points, Archangel and Western Ukraine. The battle for Western Ukraine will be supported by 1 infantry attacking. This attack will be supported by 2 fighters and 1 tactical bomber. Okay, they will all have 3 movements left in their fuel gauge. The second attack will take place in Archangel, where you have 2 infantry, each coming from Vologda and the other one from Nenetsia, moving west towards the German forces that are defending Archangel. This attack will be supported by 1 tactical bomber, 1 fighter coming from Bryansk at a movement of 2. They will have 2 movements left in their fuel gauges as well. So that's a total of 2 attacks. Russia really cannot afford or is not strong enough to attack anything else. Unfortunately, the German attack is very powerful. And let's not forget also that that Hambone from the HQ has been supporting his German ally in this attack. And he is there. I mean, unfortunately for the Italians, they're no longer as strong as they once were, but they have been able to make a great contribution to the Axis war effort by sacrificing large numbers of Italian forces that were able to make a huge difference against the defending Red Army. All right, so let's go ahead. The first attack will be Archangel. We have 2 Russian infantry attacking at 1. We also have 1 tactical and 1 fighter, each attacking 1 at 3. And the other one will be attacking at 4, the tactical bomber, right? The defending Russians defend with 2 at 2. Here we go. All right, so let's all roll them at the same time. Okay, we only have 2 at 2 here. So the red die are the 2 German infantry. Here we go. Okay, all right. Fantastic, I'll take it. The German infantry missed. I got 3 attacks with my Russians. Beautiful. So let's remove the 2 German infantry that are defending. I'm sure the cowboy right now is cursing wherever he is. He's cursing the attacking Russians. He's not happy about that, I'm pretty sure of. All right, the second attack will be in Western Ukraine. That attack will be 1 attacking Russian, 2 fighters that attack at 3. All right, 2 and 1 fighter or tactical bomber that attacks at 4. There is 1 German infantry defending, and it defends at 2. Once again, let's throw them all in the cup. Here we go. All right. Germany missed. We got 2 attacks, 2 hits. The tactical bomber hit and the infantry hit. So the defending German infantry has been eliminated. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead then since my battles have all been resolved, let's go ahead into non-combat movements. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. I'm going to move a total of 10 infantry into Bryansk. 5, 7, 10. Okay, so yes, as you can see, the Russians will be defending Bryansk. The idea is to check any incursions, or hopefully check any German incursions into Rostov, Stalingrad, and the Caucasus. 3 artillery will be moving into. So let me see something here. Yeah, 3 artillery will be moving into Bryansk as well. There you go. So that's 3 artillery. All my fighters will be landing back into Bryansk. So that's a total of 2 tacticals, 3 fighters. My minor industrial complex coming from Smolensk will move into Bryansk as well, along with the AAA into Bryansk. This tactical will also land in Bryansk. I will move 2 infantry into Rostov. There you go. And I believe that does it for my movements in Europe. So let's go ahead and go over to the Far East, where the Russian army, consisting of 8 infantry, 1 artillery, and 2 AAA, will move into Korea. Yeah, that's that. All right, let's go ahead and place our newly built units or purchase. I'll place an additional 2 artillery in Bryansk. Let's keep in mind that I do have a minor complex there. There's going to be 6 infantry in Moscow. That's 8 and 10. All right, so let's go ahead then with the final dispositions of forces recap portion of the video, as well as the income tracker. But let's do a couple of changes that I need to make, which I was forgetting here, that need to be done. And they're as follows. Okay, so I have 2 infantry that I had moved into Rostov from Bryansk during the non-combat movement phase. What I'll be doing is instead of moving 2, I'll just be moving 1. And an additional infantry from Bryansk will be moved into Smolensk. And the reason for that is because if I don't block Smolensk, the German army can then just simply blitz with its German armor into Moscow. We don't want that happening. All right, a couple of changes with my placements as well. The 2 artillery that I placed in Bryansk will instead be going in Stalingrad. All right, and from there, I'll be also adding an additional infantry from Moscow into Stalingrad as well. So that's 2 artillery, 1 infantry in Stalingrad. All right, so that's that. All right, so let's go ahead then with the final dispositions of forces portion. And here we go. So in Stalingrad, we have 2 artillery, 1 infantry. Rostov, only 1 infantry. In Bryansk, we have a total of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 armor. Okay, a total of 12 artillery, 3 AAAs, 3 fighters, 2 tactical bombers. In Moscow, we now have 9 infantry. That's 6, 7, 8, 9 infantry. Smolensk, 1 infantry. Archangel, 2 infantry. C-Zone 113, 1 Russian submarine. And last but not least, in the Far East, in Korea, we have 8 infantry, 1 artillery, and 2 AAAs. All right, so income tracker. Russia goes up by 3. Okay, Archangel, that's 1. Western Ukraine, that's an additional 2. So that's 3 IPCs. I know that Russia was down to 24. Okay, so here we go. It's 24. That's from 24 to plus 3 is 27. Germany goes down in 3. So Germany's down to 3. Germany's up to 27. So that's 27 IPCs that Russia will be collecting for this round. However, there are a couple of NOs that Russia will be collecting, and they're as follow. Okay, Russia will be collecting 2 IPCs for control of Northwest Persia. Okay, as a Axis pro-allied territory, pro-Axis territory, I'm sorry. And that's 2, plus 3 IPCs for still in control of Siberia, Urals, and the Ukraine. So that's 5 IPCs national objectives in total, plus that's 5 plus 27, 32 IPCs. So Russia will be collecting and carrying over a grand total of 32 IPCs for round 6 of this YouTube Wars game. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. And as I like to say, don't forget to bunker down and play. Till next time.